Hi guys, this video is part 1 of answering GCSE Science exam questions. So I'm going to go through some tips that I have. First of all, you need to look for the command word in the question, and this basically tells you what to do in the question. And a lot of students find it difficult answering questions because they don't know what the question's asking them. So look for those. I will put at the bottom of this a link to some GCSE exam command words. Okay, so for example, recall some facts, events, and processes in an accurate way. So most exam boards will give you a list of these command words. Also, look for the number of marks available. If the question's only worth 2 marks, then you only need to give 2 points. Don't write lots and lots of irrelevant things. Also, you don't need to write in full sentences. Examiners never look for this. And it's always a good rule of thumb to keep your sentences to less than 20 words. It keeps it clearer for the person marking it as well. Okay, so we're going to be looking at trends and patterns in graphs now. Now there are 3 main trends and patterns that you're going to be looking for when you're looking at graphs: increasing trend, decreasing trend, and no trend. And students need to learn how to identify these trends first of all. A graph can show an increasing trend, a decreasing trend, no trend, or a mixture of all 3. And you have to look where the independent variable is at the bottom, identify that, and look to see how your dependent variable changes as the independent variable changes. Let's look at an example of describing trends. Look at this graph, and I would like you to try and see if you can identify the trend. This graph is showing how the mass of sulfur dioxide released in the UK has changed from 2001 to 2011. Now be careful, this has a mixture of trends, a decreasing trend and then a remain constant trend. So what I'd like you to do is have a go at describing the pattern shown in the graph. You can pause the video here. So to get full marks for this question, you need to say that over time the mass of SO2 released has decreased, but levels off and remains constant after 2009. So you're describing the whole trend there. Okay. Now, the differences between describe and explain is something that students often struggle with. And when you're describing a trend, you need to say what you see by looking at the variables. On the x-axis, you're looking for the independent variable, and the y-axis, the dependent variable, and describe how they change according to each other. So describe is say what you see, and explain is to give a scientific reason why this happens. So sulfur dioxide decreases because we are using less fossil fuels over time, and it remains steady because we are burning some fossil fuels despite measures for greener fuels. Something along those lines. So I'm going to give you another go to try it yourself. Now, this question is about the fermentation of sugar by enzymes in yeast. So I would like you to describe the graph for 2 marks and then explain the trend for 2 marks. Pause the video now. Okay, to describe this trend, you would need to say as the temperature increases, the volume of CO2 increases for 1 mark until around 42 degrees when it decreases. The explanation would be, this is because as temperature increases, the kinetic energy of the particles increase, making the reaction faster and they collide more. After around 42 degrees, it decreases because the enzymes become denatured. So it's always a good idea to use the numbers in the graphs to help you with this. A good idea is to take a ruler and pencil into the exam to help you accurately pick out numbers and figures. Okay, thank you for watching. Hope it was helpful.